Hello, hi, welcome to another video. This one's a bit different from what I've been doing recently. This is a study update. I know some people, a lot of recent subscribers have come for the book content, and there will still be plenty of that. I'm still reading Trollope's The Warden, which I'm actually quite enjoying. But my channel is Uni and Books, and there's not been much uni. To be fair, there's probably not going to be much uni for the next couple of years. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be studying, because I am studying. So what have I been up to? It's taken a while for me to do a study update because I've taken a step back to really think about what I want to study, what I'm interested in. I can be quite spontaneous. Even before I started, this current cycle of studying, so when I was still doing my law degree, I was interested in classics, history, a bit of literature, but I tend to just jump straight in without thinking too much. If you've seen some of my older videos, you saw as soon as I finished my law degree, I went straight into registering for the astronomy and planetary science degree. Now, I love space, all things to do with astronomy. I even did a module with the University of Central Lancashire. They do online astronomy degrees. But you can also, there's 4 level 1 modules that you can enroll on as separate certificates. And I did that with their Introduction to Astronomy, which I really enjoyed, and I got a distinction in it. But when I started with the Open University, the maths module, it's really hard. Like, I'm not going to lie. I had some comments saying, people were joining the, astronomy and planetary science and physics, think it's going to be easy, blah, blah, blah. Like basically saying I was dumb to even try and register for it. I knew it was going to be hard. I'm not saying it was going to be easy at all. It's physics, it's maths. It's probably one of the hardest subjects you could probably ever study. And I think if I was younger and I wanted to change career, I would have probably put more effort into it and stuck to it. It would still be really difficult, but I'm 40 nearly, and I've got a job that pays my bills and has security and has a good pension, so I'm not really looking to change careers. But doing my law degree, what I found is I really enjoyed the studying, learning something new, something that I was interested in, and keeping my brain active. So I stopped the physics and math side because it just wasn't enjoyable. Like, it's really good if you can get into it and you are, it's quite natural with maths and science. I never have been, even when I was at school, maths and science, I got C's at my GCSEs, other subjects, business and English, I got A's. So I've always been more naturally connected to subjects where you can be a bit more creative, writing essays, that sort of thing. So as you probably know, I started an A-level in history. And I like history, but I discovered that I only like certain parts of history, certain eras that I'm really into. The Tudor period, Victorian England, the Viking Age and the Plantagenets. But other than that, like world history and other eras, not so much. And I found like history was just, dates, names, cause and effect. And it wasn't for me. Like, I get why people love studying it, but yeah, it just took the fun out of the parts of history that I do enjoy. And then I decided to enroll for an English literature A-level because, I've been loving reading books recently, the last couple of years. But once again, I don't know if you saw a video a couple of years ago, I'm sure that I mentioned my worry with studying literature was always, what if it takes the fun out of reading? So I enrolled for this A-level, and the first unit was on The Great Gatsby. Now, I read it first of all, loved it, thought it was great, but then that, piece by piece, disentangling the whole text and analysing every little thing, it wasn't fun for me. I mean, I knew that was a possibility. I didn't go in blind, but I'm just trying to find something that I really enjoy, that I also enjoy studying. So I've taken a step back the last few months. I've looked at, so I studied with the Open University, the module A111, which is Discovering the Arts and Humanities. It's their introductory Arts and Humanities module. that every arts and humanities student will study at the beginning, and it involves 8 different subjects, including English literature, history, but also philosophy, religion. Anyway, so I went back over my books, and there was a video I did once again, was it a couple of years ago now, where I said that I really enjoyed the philosophy parts. Unexpectedly, I wasn't expecting to, but I really enjoyed it. And there was 2 of the assignments that I did where I did the philosophy assignments and got my highest marks in them. So for the last couple of months, I've bought a couple of books. I've been reading just to see. I didn't want to jump straight into another A level. So yeah, I read the books, was really intrigued by it. I went online to look at some of the exam board specifications, what would be involved in the A level, and I decided to go with philosophy. So the company that I enrolled with for the English literature A level were really good, and because I didn't actually really start studying and I'd only just enrolled, they switched me straight over to philosophy, no problem. I had to pay a small fee. Obviously, it's a private company. But yeah, they switched me straight over. The company I'm doing it with is the National Extension College, NEC, who I found have been really good for the most part. So yeah, that's my study update. At the moment, I've just started philosophy. I've been doing it now for about a month. I didn't want to do a video until I was sure, because I just look crazy, like picking up all these A-levels and not finishing them. But such is my pleasure, you know, I spend my money on what I enjoy. I enjoy studying. So I've started philosophy. I'm really enjoying it. The first topic is all about epistemology, which is about the subject of knowledge, how we know, how can we know, what's the limits to what we know. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a series of videos on what I study, mainly for myself, I think, because it will be like revision notes, but in an audible and visual context instead of being written down. So videos I can go back to in the next year or 2 when I decide to take the exam. I'm not sure if I'm going to just take it next year or the year after, but I'm not putting any stress on myself. I'm literally just going to study away, and when I get to December this year, I'll make a decision whether I want to enroll for the exams next year or leave it another year till I'm, you know, fully confident that I'm ready. But we'll see about that. I'm also toying with the idea of doing religious studies because I'm quite interested in that. Not that I'm religious in any way, but I'm kind of intrigued why people are. And also there's a specification, I believe it's the OCI specification with religious studies, that is quite philosophy heavy as well, which was one of the reasons that it piqued my interest. But we'll decide on that at a later date. But so that's my study update. A-level philosophy, that's what I'm doing now. I'll do little videos. I know some people have only come for the books. There will still be books. I'll make sure all the videos have got the appropriate titles so you don't have to watch video if it's not your cup of tea. But that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, philosophy A-level, hopefully exam next year, if not the year after. Not paying any attention to making myself ready for a specific time because I'm doing it for fun. Yeah, so that's a little study update. Hope you've enjoyed. If you've been following me for a while on the study side, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.